Which of the following best describes the concept of item discrimination? In item response theory IRT, A. The extent to which an item differentiates between individuals with high and low abilities. B. The degree to which an item is sensitive to the respondent's cultural background. C. The consistency of an item's difficulty level across different populations. D. The reliability of an item's measurement across different testing conditions. Answer: A. The extent to which an item differentiates between individuals with high and low abilities. Item discrimination refers to how effectively an item differentiates between individuals with high levels of the trait being measured and those with low levels. Higher discrimination indicates that individuals with higher abilities are more likely to answer the item correctly compared to those with lower abilities. In IRT, what does the term item difficulty refer to? A. The degree of challenge an item presents to respondents. B. The amount of time it takes for respondents to answer an item. 100. The extent to which an item is prone to measurement error. D. The likelihood of guessing the correct answer to an item. Answer: A. The degree of challenge an item presents to respondents. Item difficulty in IRT refers to the degree of challenge an item presents to respondents. It represents the level of ability required for a respondent to have a certain probability of answering the item correctly. Which of the following is not a commonly used model in item response theory? A. Rasch model. B. Two-place model. C. On-over model. D. Three-place model. Letter C. On-over model. The on-over analysis of variance model is not a commonly used model in item response theory. The Rasch model, 2PL model, two-parameter logistic model, and 3PL model, three-parameter logistic model, are commonly used models in IRT for estimating item parameters. In IRT, what does the parameter A represent in the 2PL model? A. Item difficulty. B. Item discrimination. C. Guessing parameter. D. Random error. B. Item discrimination. In the 2PL model of IRT, parameter A represents item discrimination, indicating how effectively an item differentiates between individuals with high and low abilities. Which of the following is a limitation of classical test theory? CTT when compared to item response theory IRT. Letter A. CTT doesn't account for item discrimination. Letter B. CTT doesn't provide a way to estimate item parameters. Letter C. CTT requires larger sample sizes for accurate estimation. Letter D. CTT doesn't allow for the estimation of latent traits. D. CTT doesn't allow for the estimation of latent traits. A limitation of classical test theory C-T compared to item response theory IRT is that CTT doesn't allow for the estimation of latent traits, while IRT provides a framework for estimating latent traits based on item responses. Which of the following statements about the Rasch model is true? A. It is a three-parameter model. B. It assumes that item parameters vary across individuals. C. It is commonly used in dichotomously scored tests. D. It requires the assumption of local independence. C. It is commonly used in dichotomously scored tests. The Rasch model is commonly used in dichotomously scored tests, where each item has only two response options, e.g., true, false, yes, no. Which of the following is a characteristic of the item characteristic curve ICC in item response theory? A. It represents the relationship between item difficulty and item discrimination. B. It is used to estimate the reliability of a test. C. It is a graphical representation of the probability of a correct response as a function of ability. D. It is based on the assumption of parallelism among items. C. It is a graphical representation of the probability of a correct response as a function of ability. The item characteristic curve ICC in item response theory is a graphical representation showing the probability of a correct response for an item as a function of the examinee's ability level. In the context of item response theory, what does item fit refer to? A. The degree to which an item correlates with other items in the test. B. The appropriateness of an item's difficulty level for the intended test takers. C. The degree to which an item's responses align with the expected response pattern based on the model. D. The extent to which an item discriminates between different ability levels. C. The degree to which an item's responses align with the expected response pattern based on the model. Item fit in IRT refers to the degree to which an item's responses align with the expected response pattern based on the model. Items with poor fit may indicate issues such as misfit to the model or local dependence among items. Which of the following statements best describes the concept of local independence? In item response theory, A. It refers to the absence of any systematic bias in item parameters. B. It indicates that the relationship between items is consistent across different populations. C. It suggests that the responses to one item were not influenced by the responses to other items, conditional on the latent trait. D. It pertains to the consistency of item difficulty levels across different testing conditions. C. It suggests that the responses to one item are not influenced by the responses to other items, conditional on the latent trait. Local independence in item response theory suggests that the responses to one item are not influenced by the responses to other items, conditional on the latent trait being measured. What is the primary advantage of using item response theory over classical test theory? IRT allows for the estimation of item difficulty. B. IRT provides a way to assess the reliability of a test. C. IRT accounts for the varying abilities of test takers. D. IRT relies on simpler mathematical models. C. IRT accounts for the varying abilities of test takers. One of the primary advantages of using item response theory over classical test theory, CTT, is that IRT accounts for the varying abilities of test takers, providing more accurate measurements across different ability levels. Which of the following is not a commonly used approach to estimating item parameters in item response theory? A. Maximum likelihood estimation. B. Bayesian estimation. C. Item total correlation. D. Marginal maximum likelihood estimation. C. Item total correlation. Item total correlation is not a commonly used approach for estimating item parameters in item response theory. Maximum likelihood estimation, Bayesian estimation, and marginal maximum likelihood estimation are commonly used methods for estimating item parameters in IRT. What does the information function in item response theory represent? It describes the relationship between item discrimination and item difficulty. B. It measures the precision of measurement at different levels of the latent trait. 100. It indicates the degree to which item parameters vary across different testing conditions. D. It quantifies the reliability of the test. B. It measures the precision of measurement at different levels of the latent trait. The information function in IRT quantifies the precision of measurement at different levels of the latent trait being assessed. It indicates how much information an item provides about an individual's ability at various points along the ability continuum. In item response theory, what is the typical range of values for item discrimination parameters? A 0 to 1, B minus 1 to 1, C 1 to 3, D 0 to 3. B negative 1 to 1, Item discrimination parameters typically range from -1 to 1 in item response theory. Negative values indicate that the item discriminates inversely, where lower ability individuals are more likely to answer correctly. Which of the following statements about the 3PL model in item response theory is true? It assumes that all items have equal discrimination parameters. B. It includes a guessing parameter. C. It is only applicable to tests with dichotomously scored items. D. It is a two-parameter model. B. It includes a guessing parameter. The 3PL model in item response theory includes a guessing parameter. Unlike the 2PL model, the guessing parameter accounts for the probability of guessing the correct response to an item. What is the primary assumption of item response theory? A. Items are independent of each other. B. Items are equally difficult across all levels of the latent trait. C. Items are linearly related to the latent trait. D. Items are locally independent conditional on the latent trait. D. Items are locally independent conditional on the latent trait. The primary assumption of item response theory is that items are locally independent conditional on the latent trait being measured. This means that once the latent trait is accounted for, the responses to one item should not be influenced by the responses to other items. How does the guessing parameter affect item responses in item response theory? A. It increases the probability of a correct response for low ability individuals. B. It decreases the probability of a correct response for high ability individuals. C. It increases the variability in item responses. D. It has no effect on item responses. A. It increases the probability of a correct response for low ability individuals. The guessing parameter in item response theory increases the probability of a correct response for low ability individuals, as they may randomly guess the correct answer. Which of the following best describes the concept of test equating in item response theory? A. The process of estimating item parameters based on observed response data. B. The procedure for comparing the performance of different groups on a test. C. The method for adjusting scores to account for differences in test versions or administrations. D. The calculation of the reliability coefficient for a test. C. The method for adjusting scores to account for differences in test versions or administrations. Test equating in item response theory refers to the method for adjusting scores to account for differences in test versions or administrations, ensuring that scores are comparable across different forms of a test. What does differential item functioning diff refer to in item response theory? A. The degree to which an item discriminates between different ability levels. B. The presence of systematic differences in item responses between subgroups of test takers. C. The accuracy of item difficulty estimates. D. The consistency of item parameters across different populations. B. The presence of systematic differences in item responses between subgroups of test takers. Differential item functioning DIF in item response theory refers to the presence of systematic differences in item responses between subgroups of test takers, indicating that the item may function differently for different groups. Which of the following is not a type of item response model in item response theory? A. Rash model. B. 4-place model. C. 3-place model. D. 2-place model. B. 4PL model. The 4PL model is not a commonly used type of item response model in item response theory. The Rash model, 2PL model, and 3PL model are commonly used models in IRT. What is the purpose of using item response theory in test development? A. To determine the reliability of the test. B. To estimate the probability of guessing correct responses. C. To provide a more accurate measurement of latent traits. D. To ensure that all items have equal difficulty levels. C. To provide a more accurate measurement of latent traits. The purpose of using item response theory in test development is to provide a more accurate measurement of latent traits, as it allows for the estimation of item parameters and accounts for the varying abilities of test takers.